Hey everyone, welcome back to Triple R Reefer. I'm gonna try to knock out one more video before I won't be able to make any for a little while, a week or so, maybe longer, who knows. All right, so this one is hopefully one that people can really use to um, save their reef tank, save their hobby. So this video is gonna be how to beat dinoflagellates. I'm gonna call them dinos for short. Now I'm gonna put this caveat out there. This is for this is how I beat a certain type of dinoflagellates. Now the only way to tell is to use a microscope. This phone's getting heavy like this. The only way to tell which one you have is with a microscope. You need a microscope. So first thing you're gonna need is to go to Amazon and buy yourself a cheap microscope. I think the one I bought was like $30. Okay. So not very expensive. It will do the job. You don't need some advanced microscope to be able to do what we're going to do here to identify. Monty looking good. This thing's looking good. Showing off a little bit. Clams looking good. Okay, so you'll need a microscope. You will need a air pump. You'll need a wooden air stone. Some airline tubing, obviously. You'll need a little needle valve, and what those are is just a little plastic valve with a screw on the end of it, and that helps you set the flow. In case you didn't know that already. Dr. Tim's Waste Away. You'll need some vodka. I used Smirnoff. It needs to be 10 times distilled, and that kind is already, and I drink it, so even better. All right, you'll need some hydrogen peroxide. Just the stuff you buy at the store is fine. Just 3% hydrogen peroxide. And some of this other stuff. All right, so real quick, let me give credit where credit's due. This is Elegant Coral's process, okay? It belongs to them. He came up with it, okay? So I highly recommend that you join the group, the Dinoflagellates Facebook group. This is probably updated since and has even better information on how to beat dinos. So the guy that created this or came up with it, or maybe even outlined all this, his name is Cruz Arias. I think that's how you say his last name. I call him Cruz. So I've talked to the guy many times. The guy is super smart, sharp, okay? I'm trying to say that so that you understand this guy knows what he's talking about. If you ever are fortunate enough to talk to him, you'll know what I'm saying. You'll understand what I mean by that. The guy is super smart. So anyway, it's his. He came up with it. He mastered it and has put it out there for free for you to copy and use. Okay. So let me get back into my little thing here. I hate this phone. Sorry, I'm using another phone with it. With this phone so I can record. All right, so basically, real quick, basically what you're going to do is you're going to create a controlled explosion of bacteria in your tank. Okay, so it is somewhat risky. I will say it is somewhat risky. And I have spoke about this before, but it's a risk versus reward. Dinoflagellates will absolutely destroy your tank and all corals in it. It can even kill your fish. If you do this correctly, I can assure you, I personally, eat that bubble algae, look at him go. How many times are you going to show that, Ross? All right. So, I personally used this before, and it works. I didn't lose any fish. I didn't lose one coral, and I beat dinos 3 times. I'll mention really fast because I'm hoping to make this a pretty quick video. What I believe caused dinos in my tank was not low nutrients. Okay, you'll hear that a lot. You got low nutrients. You need to get your nutrients up. My nutrients weren't close to low. Okay, my phosphates were in fact kind of high, and my nitrates were up there. Okay, so it's not always low nutrients. What it can be is something in your tank feeding them, and I believe what caused that was the dosing of amino acids. Okay, you can overdose amino acids, just so you know. I believe that caused the dinos because every single time that I got dinos was right after I started dosing aminos. And I can promise you this, I still haven't learned my lesson because sometimes I still dose them. Anyway, so that is what I believe caused them. Austriopsis is the kind that I got, and this is how I beat them. All right, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to take a wooden air stone with the needle valve and an air pump, with the outside air, and you're going to put that wooden air stone underneath your return pump. And you're going to do what's called bubble scrubbing. Bubble scrubbing is where bubbles that are very, very, very tiny, that needle valve actually makes them that way, okay? Is going to go into your tank and go all over the tank like a mist. You want it to look like a mist. And I apologize, I don't have the ability to actually do this. I don't have it set up to do that, but follow along, and if you have any questions, please ask. And there's also other videos on how to do this, but I believe there is. So you're going to create this mist of bubbles in your tank. And what that does is it actually attaches. It's like a skimmer for your whole tank. Those bubbles will attach to every little piece of dino in your tank, and it will carry them out the filtration. So it'll carry them out the top weir, down into your socks, or whatever filtration you have down there, and will help to rid your tank. That's one way it helps to rid your tank of them. Austriopsis at night disappear, go into the water column, and so it's really easy to beat them that way. You can use a UV as well. Because they go in the water column, they are able to be killed with a UV. So just another great way to attack them. But anyway, you're going to bubble scrub, and you're going to do that continuously. Okay, you're never going to stop bubble scrubbing. But you want to do that for about 24 hours before you start this process. Okay, do not stop bubble scrubbing. Because when you create this bacterial bloom, it will absorb, it will take out all the oxygen in your tank. And if you are not bubble scrubbing, you are not replacing the oxygen in your tank fast enough, and you will kill your fish. Okay? It's very important that you have enough aeration in your tank. Can't stress that enough. Okay, so day one, you're going to turn your skimmer off. You're going to turn... your aeration's already going to be on, and you're going to add 1 capful of ATM colony, or one capful of ATM colony and 1 capful of Dr. Tim's waste away per 20 gallons. Okay. You're going to add 2.5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total water system. I'll say that again. 2.5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total water system water volume. Okay, that's going to start the show. Okay, that's going to start the show. Again, we're trying to create a bacterial bloom. Day 2, you're going to keep, I'm going to stop saying this because you're going to keep the aeration on. I'll tell you when you're going to turn it off. Your skimmer is going to be off still. You're going to add 5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total system water volume. And you're going to stir 30% of the sand bed if applicable. If you don't have sand bed, whatever. I actually never did that, okay? It's good to do because it helps release some of those dinos off the sand and blast them off the rocks if you can as well, okay? That's day 2. So you've already dosed on the first day some ATM colony and some Dr. Tim's waste away. Day 2, you dosed and some vodka. And day 2, you dosed twice as much vodka as you did day 1. Day 3, you are going to add 1 cap of ATM colony and 1 cap of Dr. Tim's waste away per 20 gallons. And then you're going to add 5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total system water volume. And that's it for day 3. You can also start the sand bed again if you want, 30% of it. All right. Now, here's a little note. I actually did find this, and that's just part of it. It says if ALK is 8.2 and pH starts dipping below 7.6, turn on skimmer and dose 3 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide via the air intake tube of the skimmer, not the silencer, okay? So basically, if your pH starts to drop, it means that it essentially means that your bloom is coming too quick. Okay, you need to get that pH back up, and the way you handle that is with hydrogen peroxide. That's going to actually kill the bacteria. It's going to knock them back a little bit and help you get that pH up. Okay, so you're going to dose it directly into the air intake. Okay, not into the silencer. You're going to put it into the tube of the air intake. Okay. Let's see here. Day 4. Skimmer's turned on. Okay. So the skimmer was off this whole time. Skimmer's now on. Okay. You're going to add 2.5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total system water volume. And siphon if you'd like. And slowly dose 0.5 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide per 25 gallons of total system water volume. Okay, that did not say put it into the skimmer, okay? So dose it into the tank, it's completely fine. Now, along the way, you're going to notice that your tank is going to get cloudy. That is the bacterial bloom. That is what's going to outcompete the dinoflagellates and end up beating them, okay? When you have that bloom, do not freak out, okay? You're still bubble scrubbing. You still got air in your tank. You still got oxygen in your water. You're good, okay? I will say this. If for some reason your tank just doesn't like this and your fish are on the ground suffocating, absolutely stop what you're doing. Turn your skimmer on, start skimming, wet skimming, dose some hydrogen peroxide into the air intake, and do a water change, okay? This should not be the case, but just in an emergency, that's what you're going to do. The hydrogen peroxide will take care of knocking those back. Okay, day 6. Both are on, so now you're going to add 1.5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total system water volume. I hope I'm on day 6. I hope I didn't miss day 5. I'm going to read day 5 and day 6 just in case I missed day 5, okay? Day 5, 1 cap of ATM colony and 1 cap, 3 milliliters of Dr. Tim's waste away per 20 gallons. Day 5 is add 1.5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of total system water volume. Slowly dose 2.2 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide per 25 gallons of total system water volume. Hope I didn't miss that. If I did, that's day 5. Day 6. Add 1.5 milliliters of vodka per 15 gallons of water volume. And slowly dose 1 milliliter of hydrogen peroxide per 25 gallons of total system water volume. Okay. Day 7. Here's where you should actually be seeing a lot of improvement. Okay. Add 1 milliliter of vodka per 25 gallons of total system water volume. And slowly dose 0.5 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide per 25 gallons total water volume. After day 7, continue to dose 0.5 milliliters of hydrogen peroxide per 25 gallons of water volume until water is optically clear. So that is basically getting rid of the rest of the bacteria. Your skimmer should be really pulling out a lot of crap, okay? A lot of bacteria. Again, this is Elegance Corals regimen. The Facebook group is amazing. Highly recommend you look into it. If you got any questions, there's a lot of people there that will answer them, maybe even me. But This system is what I use to beat dinos, and I believe it'll work for you. There's no blackout. There's no change really. Okay, there's no big um, chemical dosing. You know that it's unknown. You know, people carbon dose all the time, and you're doing it at a high speed and controlling it. Okay, so you're out competing the dinos, and they will go away. The other dinos, I cannot speak for those. I've never beaten those. Ask the group that one. I would imagine this would also work for them. But anyway, that's really all I can think of as far as how this system works. If you have any questions, again, I'm always here to answer those questions, and I'll be happy to. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. Halfway through the year, and I really want to reach 1,000 subscribers. It's going to be very hard, but I believe we can do it. Like and comment and subscribe if you would, please. Thank you, everyone, for watching.